Are narcissists always in a bad mood? No, narcissists are not always visibly in a bad mood. Here are some reasons why their unhappiness may not be easily noticeable. They hide it well. Narcissists present a confident, upbeat image to the world. They want to be seen as perfect, so they put on a charismatic mask and hide feelings of misery, insecurity, and rage. Seeking praise lifts their mood. Anything that boosts their ego can generate temporary positive feelings. Compliments, status, winning, sex, excitement. But the joy is fleeting. Targeting others makes them feel powerful. Belittling, manipulating, outdoing, or dominating other people pumps up their fragile self-worth. But it's mean-spirited and masks self-loathing. Some rage openly, some passive-aggressively sulk. When unhappy overt narcissists explode in anger, while covert narcissists display it through moodiness, silence, pouting, sarcasm, or stubbornness. Their hostility emerges through different behavioral styles. Being center of attention cheers them up. When a narcissist is the star of the show, it feeds their ego and they light up, whether it's bragging about an achievement or stirring up drama for sympathy. Social reinforcement briefly enlivens them. Fantasy soothes them. Daydreams of perfect love, unlimited success, or fame provide imaginary gratification of their grandiose expectations. Their smile is superficial, though. They enjoy bringing others down. Making people miserable around them can sadistically make narcissists feel better about themselves in contrast. But it's fleeting. Some seem comically upbeat. A smug, snarky, glib front can mask low self-esteem and bitterness. Their cheerful smarminess shields pain. So narcissists' dark moods may not be constant. Flashes of charm and buoyancy occur when their ego feels puffed up. But the euphoria is temporary until they need another hit of praise, power, attention, or fantasy. Their mood depends entirely on external things that ultimately leave them unfulfilled.
What happens when a narcissist is unhappy?
Narcissists often react poorly when they feel unhappy, insecure, or offended. Here are some common results. Rage attacks. They explode with disproportionate anger and cruelty toward others. Tantrums, threats, throwing things, breaking belongings. Unleashing fury makes them feel briefly powerful. Blaming and shaming. They lashed out at the people around them, accusing them of deliberately causing their unhappiness. Shifting blame protects their fragile ego. Petty insults. They try to cut others down with snide, sarcastic remarks that are often cloaked as jokes. Making people small helps them feel bigger. Sabotage. They undermine and obstruct the happiness or success of others so they don't outshine them. Knocking people down helps them feel better about themselves. The cold shoulder. They give the silent treatment, freeze people out, or sulk until they get stroked and pampered. Withholding intimacy punishes others. Emotional blackmail. They make unreasonable demands, coupled with guilt trips, put-downs, or threats. They manipulate people to serve their fragile ego. Reckless behaviors. They act out through irresponsible sex, spending, gambling, reckless driving, drug use, or adrenaline thrills. Self-destruction distracts from inner pain. Hypochondriac whining. They constantly complain about fake illnesses and somatic pains to garner sympathy and attention. Their suffering covers up emotional wounds. Triangulation. Bringing a third party into an argument takes the heat off them. Turning people against each other makes them feel superior and in control. In different ways, unhappy narcissists will attack or manipulate those around them rather than take responsibility for their internal issues. Their behaviors betray their emotional instability and unhappiness, despite outward appearances of confidence and charm.
Do narcissists know they are unhappy?
In most cases, no. Narcissists lack self-awareness about their deeply unhappy state for several reasons. Denial. Their ego defends itself against truthful self-reflection. Admitting unhappiness would require acknowledging weaknesses and letting go of their grandiose facade. The false image protects fragile self-esteem. Projection. It's easier to blame external factors like other people, work pressures, finances, etc. They believe the cause of their moods lies outside themselves rather than in psychological deficits. Self-pity. They feel like victims of unreasonable demands or unfair mistreatment by others. Exaggerating frustrations elicits caring responses which provide narcissistic supply. Immaturity. They have limited emotional intelligence or capability for honest self-inventory. They get stuck in a pattern of lying to themselves and others. Fragile ego. To acknowledge chronic dissatisfaction would shatter the perfect self-image they depend on for security. Unhappiness signifies failure to them. External referencing. Their inner emptiness and lack of identity means they have no stable inner gauge of happiness. They depend entirely on outside praise and circumstances. Hiding hurt. They were likely shamed as children for expressing vulnerabilities. Now as adults, they reflexively put on a confident, cheerful mask, even when hurting inside. Self-medicine. Shallow pleasures like sex, shopping, and substances numb their unease temporarily. They fail to address core emotional wounds. Narcissists may have moments of feeling let down, but avoid deeper insight into their sadness or disappointment. Their denial, false self, and ego defenses prevent authentic self-awareness regarding chronic inner misery.
Can a narcissist be a good person?
This is a tricky question. There are a few ways we could look at it. Most have some good qualities. Narcissists can display positive traits like charisma, ambition, leadership abilities, success, and generosity when it flatters their ego. However, these are usually tainted by underlying selfish motives rather than pure goodwill. They lack whole categories of goodness. True compassion, empathy, conscience, loyalty, humility, and emotional depth are largely absent from narcissists' behavior. They do not know how to love unselfishly or connect sincerely. Moments of goodness are superficial. Some narcissists fake decency when it suits their agenda. They mimic real goodness by going through the motions, but their motivations are insincere. The act collapses under any real pressure or sacrifice required. It's situational. Some narcissists can act morally when it benefits their self-interest, like parenting their children, or being kind to those who provide narcissistic supply. But the same concern is not extended to those deemed worthless. They confuse goodness with image. Often when narcissists do benevolent things like donating money, it is primarily to boost their saintly image rather than pure altruism. It's about looking good rather than doing good. Their pride corrupts it. Even when narcissists do good deeds, their massive egos make them feel arrogantly superior to those they help. Their pride undermines the purity of the gesture. So in summary, narcissists may sometimes display positive behaviors superficially when it suits them. But true goodness requires compassion, integrity, and caring consistently, qualities handicapped by their disorder. Until healing their traumas, even glimpses of decency will be distorted by pathological narcissism.